Very good morning to all of you, my friends. Welcome back. So, in the previous session, we finished standard costing. I hope you guys are thorough with the concepts what I have discussed in standard costing. And further, I expect that you guys have, I do expect that you guys have solved all the questions of study material, past practice manuals, and MTPs and RTPs. So now, let's proceed further with the next chapter, that is marginal costing. From examination point of view, again, when talking about the weightage of this chapter, the weightage is approx 10 to 12 marks. And examiner do ask question in every attempt on marginal costing. Happy morning, my dear. Very good morning, everyone. I hope you guys have solved all the questions on standard costing. So let's start with marginal costing. Good morning, Kadambari. Good morning, Gomti. Very good, Kadambari. Any doubts, Kadambari? So now, this chapter marginal costing is also a part of management and accounting, and it's assist management in decision making. This chapter has nothing to do with calculation of cost. Again, it's a management tool for decision making. It's it's a management tool for decision making. We'll surely try to. Right now, I have to start with marginal costing, but we'll surely try to, Shweta. Don't worry. Ashok Kharyal, you can just type it over Google, that IPCC practice manual. You'll be able to get it. Good morning, Mr. Raghavan. So now, when talking about marginal costing, it's a management tool for decision making. It assists management in decision making. Now, let me discuss few concepts before starting with this full-fledged chapter. The first point what I want to discuss is the marginal cost. When talking about marginal cost, it's the cost of manufacturing additional unit. It's the cost of manufacturing one additional units is what we call as marginal cost. Let me discuss this with the help of an example. Let's say I'm manufacturing 100 units and the cost is 1000 units, 1000 rupees. I'm manufacturing 100 units and the cost of this 100 units is 1000 rupees. Now, if I manufacture 101 unit, the cost will be how much? 1010 rupees. So that extra 10 rupees, that is called as the marginal cost. That is the cost of producing one additional unit is what we call as marginal cost. Another example, Let's say I'm manufacturing 100 units and the cost is 1000 rupees. Now let's say if I manufacture for 100 first unit, and let's say if the cost for this 101 units is 1050 rupees. Now here in this case also, rupees 50 is what? My marginal. This rupees 50 and 10 is what? My marginal. So what is marginal cost? In simple terms, the cost of producing additional unit. अगर एक यूनिट एक्स्ट्रा बना रहे हैं तो उसका कितना खर्चा आ रहा है, that is what we call as the marginal cost. Very good morning, Sushil. Miss Sai Divya, I'm really very sorry. Now, one more concept. When talking about one more concept, let's say variable cost. So guys, for the students who have joined a bit late, I'm starting with a new chapter of marginal costing. It has nothing to do with calculation of cost. It's a management tool of decision making. When talking about what is marginal cost, the cost of producing one additional unit is marginal cost. So here, if I manufacture 100 units and the cost is 1000, now let's say if I manufacture 101 unit and if the cost is 1010, then this extra cost above 1000 is what we call as marginal cost. Another example, let's say I manufacture 100 units and the cost is 1000. If I manufacture 101 units, if the cost is 1050, then again the cost of that additional unit is what we call as marginal cost. Good morning, Tanishka. I think you were absent in the previous session. Now, when talking about variable cost, what is variable cost? Very simple, guys. The cost that varies according to production. What is variable cost? The cost that varies according to production. वो cost जो production के हिसाब से बदलता है is what we call as variable cost. What is variable cost? The cost that varies according to production. Variable cost is the cost that varies according to production. जैसे जैसे production बढ़ेगा, cost बढ़ेगा. जैसे जैसे production कम होगा, cost कम होगा. And if there is no production, no variable cost. Let's say I manufacture 500 units and the cost is 5000. So for 600 units, the cost will be 6000. For 10,000 units, the cost will be 1 lakh. For 5 lakh units, the cost will be 50 lakh. And for 0 units, the cost will be 0. So what is variable cost? The cost that varies according to production. जिस proportion में production बढ़ेगा, in the same proportion, the variable cost will be increased. So herein what we can see is that the variable cost per unit is constant. Variable cost per unit is constant. But yes, as the production increases, the total variable cost increases. Let me discuss the examples of variable cost. Let's say the first example, the best example of variable cost is what we call as raw material. आप ज्यादा प्रोडक्शन करेंगे, ज्यादा रॉ मटेरियल कंज्यूम होगा. कम प्रोडक्शन करेंगे, कम रॉ मटेरियल कंज्यूम होगा. Further, if there is no production, then no raw material. Let's say I'm the manufacturer of shirt. Now, every shirt requires 2 meters of fabric. If I manufacture 10,000 shirts, I'll require 20,000 meters of fabric. If I manufacture 5,000 shirts, I'll require 10,000 meters of fabric. If I want to manufacture 2,000 shirts, I'll require 4,000 meters of fabric. So herein what we can see is that the variable cost is increasing in proportion of the production. So the best example of variable cost is what we can say that it is raw material. Another example can be the labor cost and all the variable overheads. So in simple terms, what is variable cost? Very simple, guys. Very good, Sanya. That's okay. Please take care and get well soon, Tanishka. You can check the recorded lecture also. Anyways, when talking about variable cost, the cost that varies according to production. Variable cost increases in proportion of the production and decreases in proportion of the production. Further, if there is no production, no variable cost is incurred. Another concept is fixed cost. Again, the name itself says fixed. That is, the cost that remain fixed irrespective of production is what we call as fixed cost. What is fixed cost? The cost that remain fixed irrespective of production is what we call as fixed cost. Very good, Tanishka. That's okay. So what is fixed cost? The cost that remain fixed irrespective of production is what we call as fixed cost. Let's say I manufacture 10 units and the cost is 1 lakh rupees. If I manufacture 5,000 units also, the cost will be 1 lakh rupees. If I manufacture 10,000 units also, the cost will be sorry. If I manufacture 5 lakh units also, the cost will be 1 lakh rupees. And very important, guys, if I manufacture 0 units also, the cost will be 1 lakh rupees. So, no, Shweta, it's not in syllabus now. So, very important, guys, this fixed cost remain fixed irrespective of production. Chahe aap kitna bhi production karo, this cost will always remain fixed. Even if there is no production also, this cost remain unchanged. Very important, guys. Even if we are not manufacturing any units also, this cost will not change. It will be 1 lakh. If it is 1 lakh, then it will remain 1. Manohar, how can you say that marginal cost and this fixed costs are same? There is lots of difference between marginal cost. Marginal cost keeps on increasing, but fixed costs remain constant at all the level of production. But yes, we can say marginal cost and variable cost are used interchangeably. Yes, Sanya, marginal cost and variable cost we can use interchangeably, but there is lots of difference between marginal cost and fixed cost. Now, let me discuss few examples on fixed cost. Let's say I'm the manufacturer of these pens, and to manufacture these pens, I have taken a premise on rent. I've taken a premise on rent. Let's say the yearly rent is 12 lakh rupees. Now, if I manufacture one pen in a year, also my rent will be 12 lakh. If I manufacture 10 pens, also my rent will be 12 lakh. If I manufacture 10 lakh pens, also, then too also my fixed cost will be how much? 12 lakh rupees. So what we can see is that this fixed cost remain unchanged. उससे कोई फर्क नहीं पड़ता आप कितने पेन्स मैन्युफैक्चर कर रहे हो. Landlord will want what? Very simple, that on every month, on date first or second, he'll say that please transfer me my rent. So this rent is the key, and we can say it's one of the example of fixed cost. So when talking about the examples of fixed cost, we can say rent, it can be depreciation, salaries, what we are paying to the staff, etc. So the costs that remain fixed, no worries, that's okay. I'll be discussing, don't worry, Hardik. Have some patience, my dear. So the costs that remain fixed irrespective of production is what we call as fixed cost. See now, most of the companies has to shut down their operation because they are not being able to recover their fixed cost. Practically what happens is, then when talking about variable cost कब incur होता है? When we are manufacturing any units. So see, if I'm manufacturer of shirt, this fabric is required only when I have to manufacture shirt. But when talking about the fixed cost, very important guys, whether you are manufacturing any units or not, the fixed cost is incurred. So many companies had to shut down their operation. The major problem is, the major headache for all the companies is what we call as fixed cost. So काफी कंपनीज को सफर करना पड़ता है. They have to shut down their operations or business. Why? Because they are not being able to recover their fixed cost. So this fixed cost is a big headache for every company. So let's say I have taken a premise on hire. Now, what will be my first target? To recover my fixed cost. After recovering the variable cost, my first target will be what? To recover the fixed cost. After recovering the fixed cost only, I'll start getting profit. So this fixed cost, see, in COVID 2020 or 2021, I hope you guys have heard that this company is being shut down or this business is being shut down. Why? Because they are not being able to sustain. Why? Because of their fixed cost. That is, they are not being able to pay their rent. They are not being able to pay the salaries to the staff. Variable cost तो तभी लगेगा when we are manufacturing any unit. But fixed cost चाहे आप manufacture करो चाहे नहीं करो, वो cost आपका लगना ही है. So the major headache for all the companies, most of the companies who shut down their operation, the only reason is what we can say fixed cost. Let me discuss this concept with the help of an example also. So let's say I'm the manufacturer of this pen. Now to manufacture this pen, the raw material, labor and variable overheads are 8 rupees. I repeat again, to manufacture this pen, my variable cost is, let's say, 8 rupees is incurred. Now I'm selling this pen for rupees 10. I repeat again, guys, the variable cost to manufacture this pen is 8 rupees. That is my plastic, my ink, and whatever it is. So the variable cost to manufacture this pen is what? Rupees 8. Now I'm selling this pen for rupees 10. So after recovering the variable cost, how much I'm saving? Rupees 2 every pen. Now my first target will be what? To recover my fixed cost. 2 rupees, 2 rupees, 2 rupees. At least I should sell that much of pen that at least I should be able to recover my fixed cost ताकि मुझे loss नहीं हो. Let's say my fixed cost is rupees 1 lakh. Let's say my fixed cost is rupees 1 lakh. Now, can you guys tell me how much pens should I manufacture and sell so that at least I should be able to recover my fixed cost? Waiting for your answers, guys. How many pens should I manufacture and sell so that at least I should be able to recover my fixed cost, assuming my fixed cost is rupees 1 lakh? Waiting for your answers. I repeat my question, guys. I'm manufacturing this pen at a variable cost of rupees 8, only variable cost. I'm selling this pen at the rate rupees 10. So per pen, I'm recovering rupees 2. Now, my first target will be what? I should sell that much of pen so that at least I should be able to recover my fixed cost. Let's say my fixed cost is 1 lakh rupees. So how many pens should I manufacture and sell so that at least I should be able to recover 1 lakh rupees? So I've got the answers. I've got answer from Hardik, very good, correct answer. Ashok, correct answer. Sanya Fadke, incorrect answer. Manohar Yadav, correct answer. Okay, Avinash Patil, incorrect answer. Somesh Sawant, correct answer. Gomti, correct answer. Gomti, incorrect answer. Sanya Fadke, incorrect answer. Shweta, very good, correct answer. I repeat again, guys. I'm selling this pen at the rate rupees 10. My variable cost, that is my plastic, ink, and the labor I'm paying is rupees 8. So per pen, I'm recovering rupees 2. Now, my first target will be what? To sell, manufacture and sell that much of pen that at least I should be able to recover my fixed cost. Assuming my fixed cost is rupees 1 lakh. So how many pens should I manufacture and sell that at least I should be able to recover? I should be able to recover rupees 1 lakh. So I'm getting answer from, I've got answer from Shweta, correct answer. Avinash, now it is correct. Srinivasan, correct answer. Mr. Bandi, correct answer. Sushil, correct answer. Tanishka, this time correct answer. Sanya, now this time it is correct. Very good. Still, I have not got answer from many of the students. Sai Divya, Mr. Vijay Raghavan, Ms. Gomti, Mr. Manohar, Mr. Anmol. So most of the students, I mean, they were able to answer. Kiran S, Krishnakant, very good, correct answer. Miss Chetlup, Miss Harshita, correct answer. So now my first target will be what? To recover, to manufacture and sell that much, that many of the pens, so that at least I should be able to recover 1 lakh. So per pen, I'm recovering rupees 2. For every pen, I'm recovering rupees 2. Now I have to recover how much? 1 lakh rupees. So at least I should manufacture and sell 50,000 pen so that I can recover my fixed cost of rupees 1 lakh. So 1 lakh divided by 2. If I manufacture and sell 50,000 pens, if I manufacture and sell 50,000 pen, then I'll be able to recover rupees 1 lakh. So per pen rupees 2. So for 50,000 pens, we'll be recovering 1 lakh. So this 1 lakh is what? After recovering my variable cost, I'm recovering my fixed cost also. So this 50,000 pence is what we call as break-even sales. I'll be discussing this concept in detail. So this 50,000 pence is what? My break-even sales. That is the point where neither I earn nor I lose anything. So हर company का first target क्या होता है? To achieve break-even. That is, after recovering the variable cost, at least we should manufacture that much of product so that at least we are able to recover their fixed cost. Now, as soon as I reach this level of 50,000, very important guys, as soon as I reach this level of 50,000, for every extra 1 unit sold, I'll be getting a profit of rupees 2. So let's say I'm selling 50,000 10. I'm selling 50,000 10 pens. That is 10 pens over and above 50,000. How many extra pens I'm manufacturing and selling? 10 pens. So my profit will be how much? 20 rupees. So once you cross this level of 50,000, whatever the extra units, let's say I've sold 50,001 pen, then my profit will be rupees 2. Let's say if I'm selling 60,000 pen, that is 10,000 pens extra, then my profit will be how much? 20,000. So this is what the concept. I'll be discussing all these points in detail. It's just for your understanding I'm discussing. So most of the companies के लिए problem क्या होता है to recover their fixed cost, because anyways variable cost तो कब लगेगा? When we are manufacturing any unit. But the major headache is the fixed cost, that is rent, depreciation, salaries, everything. So I request you guys, no worries, Mr. Raghavan. Very good, Manohar. Very good, Mr. Mohammed Huzair. Anmol, very good. Very good, guys. Yashwardhan, correct answer. Krishna Kant, correct answer. Kiran S, correct answer. Very good, guys. So till now we have discussed marginal costing. We have started with marginal costing. When talking about marginal costing, it has nothing to do with calculation. It's a part of management accounting and it assists management in decision making. Further, when we can say what is marginal cost, the cost of producing one additional unit. When talking about variable cost, the cost that varies according to production. वो cost जो production के हिसाब से बदलता है, we can call it as variable cost. These two words are used interchangeably, that is marginal cost and variable cost. When talking about the examples of variable cost, it is raw material, labor, and all the variable overheads. Further, when talking about fixed cost, the cost that remain fixed irrespective of production is what we call as fixed cost. The rent, depreciation, salaries, insurance, etc., audit fees, etc., are the examples of fixed cost. If you guys have any doubts, you guys can please post your queries. Further, I request you guys to please copy this explanation. Good morning, Mr. Mohammed. I'll be covering this part separately, Sanya. It's a fixed cost, my dear. Let me complete this part first, Shweta. So now, let's start with this chapter, marginal costing. When talking about marginal costing, this marginal cost is based on 5 terms, that is sales less variable cost will get contribution. Sales minus variable cost will get contribution. If we subtract fixed cost from contribution, we'll get profit. So these are the 5 terms we'll be using throughout the chapter, that is sales less variable cost, we get contribution. Contribution minus fixed cost, we get profit. Let's say my sales is 200 and my variable cost is 120. So how much will be my contribution? Very simple, 80. Now let's say my fixed cost is 40. So how much will be my profit? 40. So this marginal cost is based on 5 terms. In simple terms, it is sales minus variable cost, my dear. So very simple, guys. This marginal costing is based on 5 terms, that is sales, variable cost, contribution, fixed cost and profit. Ultimately, आपको ये chapter में you should know how to play with these 5 points. Examiner will twist you, will try to confuse you, but if you are thorough with the concepts, you can solve any question. Further, just like standard costing, I will not be discussing any formulas in marginal costing also. So I request you guys to please focus on concepts rather than formulas. So now, so we can say what is contribution in simple terms. We can say it is sales minus variable cost. What is contribution in simple terms? We can say sales minus or variable cost. That is 200 is my sales minus 120 is my variable cost. I'll get contribution rupees 8. In alternate way, we can say examiner can also ask contribution can be fixed cost plus profit. Contribution can be fixed cost plus profit. So my fixed cost is 40. My profit is 40. I'll get 80. So this is the way examiner can twist any question. So the point is, if you are thorough with the concept, then you can solve any question. So this marginal costing, I repeat again, is based on 5 terms, that is sales, variable cost. If we deduct variable cost from sales, we'll get contribution. Further fixed cost, if we deduct fixed cost from contribution, we'll get the final figure, that is profit. So this is the way examiner can ask you questions. Now, the first thing what every question is going to ask you is the PV ratio. The first thing that the examiner can ask you is what? The first thing what the examiner can ask you is what? PV ratio. We can call it as profit volume ratio. PV ratio is what? Profit volume ratio. One second, there is a query, sir. Can you consider it as profit after only recovering the fixed cost, even before recovering variable cost? I'm not getting what you are saying, Mr. Nagawala. In simple terms, after recovering the variable cost, we get contribution. And from contribution, if we are able to recover our fixed cost, we get profit. So the first thing what the examiner can ask you is what? PV ratio, that is profit volume ratio. When talking about the formula of this PV ratio, it says contribution, it defines the percentage of contribution to sales. What PV ratio defines? The percentage of contribution to sales. So how we can define PV ratio? Very simple. What is PV ratio? It defines the percentage of contribution to sales. In simple terms, ये जो मेरा contribution है, it is how much percent of sales. So this is what we call as PV ratio. So my contribution is 80, my sales is 200, so in 200, so this is 40%. So what is PV ratio? It defines the percentage of contribution to sales. Contribution sales का कितना percent है, ये हमें क्या बताता है? PV ratio. What is PV ratio in simple terms? The percentage of contribution to sales. So herein my contribution is 80, my sales is 40. My contribution is 80, my sales is, my contribution is 80, my sales is 200. So how much percentage? Very simple, 40%. So this 40% is what? My PV ratio. Let's say if my contribution is 100, let's say, Anmol, better to focus on concepts what I'm discussing. In simple terms, the term contribution is used for sales minus variable cost. That's it. After recovering the variable cost, whatever the figure you are getting is what we call as contribution. So let's say if my contribution is 100, let's say if my contribution is 100 and my sales is 200. So how much will be my PV ratio? Very simple. If my contribution is 100 and if my sales is 200, what will be the percentage of contribution to sales? Very simple. It is 50%. Very good, Hardik. Let's say my contribution is 1000. Very good. Quick guys. Let's say my contribution is 1000 and my sales is 10,000. How much will be my PV ratio? Let's say my contribution is 1000 and my sales is 10,000. What will be my PV ratio? Let's write few questions. What PV ratio says? The percentage of contribution to sales. In simple terms, हमारा जो contribution है हमारी sales का कितना percent है? So let's say my contribution is 1000. My sales is 10,000. So what will be my PV ratio? My contribution is 1. Very good, Shweta. Very good, Sanya. Good morning, Rohan. Your answers are correct. Very good, everyone. All the answers are correct. So we can say my PV ratio is how much? 10% of sales. That is, this 1,000 is what? 10% of 10,000. So what is PV ratio? Contribution sales का कितना परसेंट है ये बताता है हमें PV ratio. Let's talk it reverse, in a reverse way. Let's say my sales is 20,000. Let's say my sales is 20,000 and it is given in the question that PV ratio is 20%. Let's say my sales is 20,000 and it is given in the question that my PV ratio is 20%. What will be my contribution? My sales is 20,000 and जो contribution है, it is 20% of my sales. What is PV ratio? It is 20%. In simple terms, what is PV ratio? The percentage of contribution to sales. So contribution मेरी sales का 20% है. So how much will be my contribution? Perfect. All the answers are correct. Ashok Kharyal, please check your answer. Rest everyone correct answer. Sanjana, Harshita, Gumti, everyone correct answer. Another example. Let's say my sales is 1 lakh. My variable cost is 70% of sales. So how much will be my contribution? Very important, guys. My sales is 1 lakh and my variable cost is 70% of sales. So how much will be my contribution? Very good, Avinash, Prashant, Sai, Divya. Okay, so Gomti correct answer, Anmol incorrect answer, Yashwardhan correct answer, Hardik correct answer, Ashok correct answer, Shweta correct answer. Anmol Patwa, please check. It's not wrong, my dear. These are the terms what we are using. Sanya, Anmol correct answer, rest everyone correct answer. Now this time Anmol also correct answer. So herein what we can see is that my sales is how much? 1 lakh. My variable cost is how much? 70,000. So my contribution will be how much? 30,000. Alternatively, we can say if the contribution is 40% of sales. See here. See herein we can say my sales is 200. I have divided it in two parts, variable cost and contribution. If my contribution is 80, my variable cost is 120. So if I say my contribution is 40% of sales, so my variable cost will be how much in this case? 60%. So herein we can say if my variable cost is 70% of sales, then my contribution or PV will be 30%. So 1 lakh into 30%, we can say the 30,000 will be my contribution. One more question, guys. Let's say my contribution is 90,000 and my PV ratio is 30%. what will be my sales? Very good, Miss Das, Miss Payodini Das. Mr. Santosh Das, instead of writing great sir, good sir, better focus on the answers. Why you are wasting your time? Anandita, please check. Your answer was incorrect. This is the correct answer. Alternatively, we can say if variable cost is 70%, then PV ratio will be 30%. Therefore, contribution will be 1 lakh into 30%, that is 30,000. Okay, so I've got answer from Gomti, correct answer. Yashwardhan, correct answer. Shweta, incorrect answer. Sanya, correct answer. Anmol, correct answer. Kiran, correct answer. Kadambari, Harshita. Okay, so Krishnakant, incorrect answer. Rohan Kumar, incorrect answer. Okay, Krishnakant, incorrect answer. Rest everyone correct answer. Very good, guys. Shweta, Sanya. Krishnakant, please check your answer. Rohan Kumar, please check your answer. Shweta, please check your answer. Rest everyone correct answer. Now this time your answer is correct. Let me complete this chapter, my dear. Sanjana Chauhan, let me complete. By the end of this chapter, you'll be able to understand that what all management, how it assists management in decision making. There are many things. It's like we can say a chapter सबसे vast है. There is no end of this chapter, marginal costing and decision making. Now correct answer, Krishnakant. Rohan, now this time correct answer. I think 1 0 was missing. So herein we can say my contribution is 90,000 and my PV ratio is 30%. It means what? आपको वो फिगर निकालना है जिसका 30% 90,000 है. In simple terms, I repeat, guys, आपको वो फिगर निकालना, you have to calculate that figure whose 30% is 90,000. So herein we can say, see, sales is always 100%. We can divide sales in two parts, that is variable cost and contribution. Now contribution is given, that is 90,000, and my PV ratio is 30%. That is the percentage of contribution to sales. Therefore, my variable cost will be 70%. So this 90,000 is equals to 30. So how much will be my sales? Sales is equals to 100. So I'll get 3 lakh rupees. Let's take one more example. Let's say my variable cost is 1,80,000 and my PV ratio is 25%. So what will be my sales? Okay, so Shweta, correct answer. So Shweta is the first one to answer. Your answer is correct, Shweta. Okay, so Sanya, correct answer. Kiran, correct answer. Gomti, correct answer. Yashwardhan, correct answer. Miss Payonidhi Das, incorrect answer. Ashok Kharyal, correct, incorrect answer. Manohar Yadav, correct answer. Pratna Sarthi, correct answer. Hardik, correct answer. Mr. Bundy, incorrect answer. So, Miss Payonidhi and Mr. Bundy, your answers are incorrect. Okay, Prashant Kumar, incorrect answer. Mr. Krishnakant, Rohan, waiting for your answers, guys. So Prashant Kumar, Mr. Bundy, and Ashok and Payonidhi Das, please recheck your answer. Rest everyone correct answer. Okay, now Mr. Bundy, correct answer. Sushil Kumar, correct answer. Oh, Anishka, correct answer. Sushil, your answer is also correct for practical question number 4. I think you are facing network issues. Yes, Mamta Yadav, Sai, Divya, waiting for your answers. Avinash Patil, Hardik, Rohan, Miss Harshita, Mr. Vijay Raghavan, waiting for your answers, guys. Okay, so I've got from Divya also now. Your answer is correct. Vijay Raghavan, okay, I've got your answer now. Your answers are correct. So herein, as I discussed, that sales can be divided in two parts, variable cost and contribution. My variable cost is 1,80,000. Contribution is not given, but PV ratio is given, that is 25% of sales. So my variable cost will be 75% of sales. So this 1,80,000 is 75. So how much will be 100? 2,40,000. Krishnakant, correct answer. Avinash, incorrect answer. Anmol, correct answer. Rohan, correct answer. So guys, herein my PV ratio is 25%. So if PV ratio is 25%, then how much will be my variable cost? 75%. And this 1,80,000 is equals to 75%. So how much will be 100%? So I hope you guys are thorough with this concept. If you guys have any doubts in this part, you guys can please post your query. Further, I'm giving you 5 minutes time to copy this explanation. I request you guys to please copy this explanation. Now, guys, let's take one more situation. Let's say I'm manufacturing and selling 500 units. Let's say per unit price is rupees 5, rupees 10. The selling price is rupees 10. So my total amount is rupees 5,000. Let's say my variable cost for 500 units is, let's say, rupees 7. So total it will be 3,500. Therefore, my contribution will be how much? It will be 1,500. Now, in this case, my PV ratio will be 1,500 divided by 5,000 into 100. That is 30%. Or you can say, I've used this concept, that is contribution divided by sales into 100, that is 30%. Now let's take a situation wherein instead of 500 units, I am manufacturing only 300 units. I repeat again, instead of 500 units, let's say I am manufacturing only 300 units. My question is, क्या PV ratio change होगा या नहीं होगा? Yes or no? My question is, is the PV ratio going to change or not? Just answer yes or no. Yes, if it is changing. If it is not changing, then no. Waiting for your answer. If I manufacture and sell 300 units, my PV ratio is going to change or not? If yes, it is going to change, then post yes. If it is not going to change, then no. Waiting for your answers, guys. Quick, don't start with the calculation part. Okay, so Rohan Kumar, it will change. Gomti, no. Manohar, no. Hardik, yes. Sanya, no. Shweta, yes. Harshvardhan, no. No change. Krishnakant, no change. Mr. Thoti, Jagpati, no change. Rohan Kumar is saying yes, it will change. Shweta is saying yes, it will change. Rest everyone waiting for your answer. Stop calculating. It's just a logical question. So, Sanjana, no. Krishnakant, no. Miss Harshita, yes. Shweta, again changing the answer now. Yes, it will change. Pratna Sharti, Anmol, yes. Kadambri, yes, it will change. Avinash, yes, it will change. Kiran, well said. Yes, Sanya. So, let's calculate the PV ratio for the students who have posted the answer. Yes, it will change. So, let's say 300 and 300. My revised sales will be 3,000. That is 300 into 10. And this will be 300 into 7. So 2,100. So I'll get the final contribution as 900. So my PV ratio will be 900 divided by 3,000 into 100. No change. So let's say if I manufacture 1 unit and sell 1 unit, is the PV ratio going to change? Mohammed, please check now. If I manufacture 1 unit and sell 1 unit, is the PV ratio going to change? No. The point is PV ratio remain constant at all the level of sales. If the number of units are increasing or if the number of units are decreasing, there will be no change in PV ratio. But very important, guys. So whether you manufacture 500 unit, 300 unit, 1 unit, The PV ratio is constant. Why? What's the reason? Very simple, guys. This relationship is maintained. That is the selling price per unit and the variable cost per unit. If this relationship is constant, there will be no change in PV ratio. Let's take a situation. If I reduce the selling price by 10 rupees, 10%, let's say instead of 9, my selling price is rupees 9. The PV ratio will change. The PV ratio will change. Yes, Divya, I've got your answer. Sai, Divya. So my point is very simple. If I change the selling price per unit or variable cost per unit, yes, the PV ratio is going to change. So the point is very simple. This relationship, if it is constant, then there will be no change in PV ratio. So what I want to say is, no worries, that's okay. So let's say here in my selling price is rupees 9 and my variable cost is 7. So my contribution will be how much? 2. So 500 into 9, this will be 4,500. 500 into 7, this will be 3,500. So this will be 9 minus 7, 2. So this will be 1,000. So 1,000 divided by 4,500, it will change. So the revised PV ratio will be 1,000 divided by 5. It will be 22.22%. I repeat again, let's say instead of 10, my selling price is 9. My variable cost is constant. My contribution will be 9 minus 7,2. So my sales will be 500 into 9, 4,500. 500 into 7, 3,500. My contribution is 1,000. So 1,000 divided by 4,500, 22.22. Let me check, Anmol. Let me finish this part. So herein the key is what? This relationship. So the point is, if there is increase in sales quantity, 500 units से 5 lakh units भी हो जाते हैं, the PV ratio will remain same. But if there is any change in selling price per unit or variable cost per unit, it will change. So now what, when practically from practical question point of view, if the sales are increasing, it means what? I am selling more number of units. In general terms only. If the sales are reducing, it means what? We in general term, what we will assume that the units sold are reducing. Can we assume that the selling price is increasing or decreasing? No. Can we assume that the selling variable cost is increasing or decreasing? No. So in general terms, if the sales is increasing, it means we will assume that the units are increasing. If the sales is reducing, we will assume that the units are reducing. So in both the cases, the PV ratio will be constant. But let's say if in a particular situation, if the question is clearly mentioning that there is change in selling price per unit, or there is change in variable cost per unit, yes, the PV ratio will change. If there is any change in selling price per unit or variable cost per unit, the PV ratio will change. So alternatively, we can say the formula of PV ratio is what? Very simple. Contribution per unit divided by selling price per unit. So my contribution is 310 into 100, so it is 30%. So this relationship is the key. That is contribution per unit and variable cost. Sorry, variable cost per unit and selling price per unit. So if the question is silent, if the sales is increasing, we will assume that the units are increasing. If the sales is reducing, we'll assume that the units are reducing. Therefore, the PV ratio will remain constant at all the level of sales if the question is silent. However, if the question is mentioning that there is a change in selling price per unit or variable cost per unit, yes, then the PV ratio will change. So in simple terms, my final conclusive statement that PV ratio, if the question is silent, PV ratio remain constant at all the level of sales. I'm writing this for your reference. If the question is silent, then we will assume that PV ratio is constant at all the level of sales. If the question is silent, then we'll assume that PV ratio is constant at all the level of sales. However, if mentioned in question, clearly that there is change in selling price per unit or variable cost per unit, then there will be change in PV. So if the question is silent, we have to assume that अगर sales बढ़ रहा है तो units बढ़ रहे हैं, sales कम हो रहा है तो units कम हो रहे हैं. Therefore, the PV ratio will remain constant at all the level of sales. However, if it is clearly mentioned in the question that there is change in selling price per unit or variable cost per unit, then only the PV ratio will change. If you guys have any doubts, you guys can please post your query. Further, I request you guys to please copy this explanation. It will not be different. Don't worry, Sanya. It's not practically possible. So this is all what about PV ratio. If you guys have any doubts, any queries, then you guys can please post your query. When talking about PV ratio, it shows the relationship between contribution and sales. That is, what is the percentage of contribution to sales. Further, PV ratio remain constant at all the level of sales. However, if there is any change in selling price per unit or variable cost per unit, then only the PV ratio will change. So done with PV ratio, guys. So let's take a break of 15 minutes. I'll be back after 15 minutes with the next part of the chapter, that is break-even sales. So let's take a break of 15 minutes, guys. Sir, are you? Welcome back, my friends. So now we are done with PV ratio. So now let's start with the next part. That is break-even sales. Now, when talking about break-even sales, what is break-even sales? I've already discussed previously. So what is break-even sales? That level of sales where there is no profit, no loss. What is break-even sales? Break-even sales is that level of sales where there is no profit, no loss, or we can say sales is equals to total cost. The point where we can say the point where we can say the sales is equals to total cost, where there is sales is equals to total cost, we can call it as break-even point or break-even sales. Now let me discuss this concept with the help of an example. The same example, let's say my sales is 200. My variable cost is 120. Therefore, my contribution will be 80. Further, my fixed cost is, let's say it is 40. Therefore, my profit is 40. Now, the relationship between contribution and sales we have already calculated. That is what we call as PV ratio. That is contribution divided by sales into 100. So my contribution is 80, my sales is 200 into 100, so 40%. So the relationship between contribution and sales we have already calculated, that is 40%. Now, so the board is visible. Are there any visibility issues, sir? Manish, sir? Manish, sir, are you there? 1 second, guys. The board is visible to all. Sani, I request you to please refresh your internet connection. So let's proceed. Now, herein the relationship between contribution and sales is what we call as PV ratio. So now, on sale of rupees 200, I'm getting a profit of rupees 40. I request you guys to calculate the sales where there is no profit, no loss. I repeat again, guys, on sales of rupees 200, I'm getting a profit of rupees 40. You have to calculate a sales where my profit is 0. Or we can say you have to calculate the sales where the sales is equals to total cost. Waiting for your answers, guys. Waiting for your answers. On sales of rupees 200, I'm getting a profit of rupees 40. So you have to post your answers that at what sales my profit will be 0, or we can say my sales will be equal to total cost. Waiting for your answers, guys. Okay, so Mr. Vijay Raghavan, 160. I've got answer from Vijay Raghavan, Harish Chandir, Sanya. Rest all waiting for your answers. You have to calculate the sales where the sales is equals to total cost. Okay, so as expected, Sanjana, Yashwardhan, I've got your answer, Mr. Bandi, Sai Divya, Manohar, Yadav, Prashant Kumar. Rest everyone waiting for your answer. You have to calculate the sales where the sales is equals to total cost. Yes, Sushil. I know, Mr. Raghavan. Rest everyone waiting for your answer. Yes, Tanishka, Shweta, Avinash, Hardik, Anmol, Kadambri. Waiting for your answers, guys. Okay, so Harshita, I've got your answer. Anandita, Ashok. So I've got this answer 160 from many students. What they did, that sir, my variable cost is 120, my fixed cost is 40. So what many of the students did, sir, my variable cost is 120, my fixed cost is 40. So if my sales is 160, my profit will be 0. I've got this answer 160 from many students that, sir, what they did is that variable cost is 120, my fixed cost is 40. So what they did, 120 plus 40. If 160 is the sales, my profit will be 0. But this answer is incorrect. Now, how it is incorrect, let me discuss this part first. See, सही आंसर निकालने से पहले आपको ये पता होना चाहिए कि आपने गलत निकाला और उसमें क्या गलती किया. So very important, guys. Very important. If the sales is reducing, the variable cost will also reduce. आप अगर number of units, if you are reducing the number of units to be sold in the market, the variable cost of the units sold will also reduce. So herein, the relationship between sales and contribution is always constant. If the sales are reducing, my variable cost will reduce proportionately. My contribution will also reduce proportionately. So herein, when talking about the relationship between sales and contribution, here the sales is reducing. So variable cost will also reduce, contribution will also reduce. But this relationship will always remain constant. Why? Because I've already discussed, if the question is silent and if the sales is reducing, we will assume that the units are reducing. And if the sales is increasing, we will assume that the units are increasing. However, the PV ratio will remain constant because selling price per unit, variable cost per units are unchanged. So if herein the sales are reducing from 200 to 160, but the relationship between sales and contribution will always be constant. So my sales is reducing, so my proportionately variable cost will also reduce. My contribution will be 40% only, that is 64. So this will be 96. मेरा sales reduce हो रहा है तो मेरा variable cost भी तो reduce होगा. If the number of units sold are reduced, then my raw material cost will also reduce. My labor cost will also be reduced. My other variable overheads will also be reduced. So proportionately, my variable cost is reducing. My fixed cost is 40. It remains constant at all the level of sales. Therefore, my profit will be 24. So this answer is incorrect. 160 is the incorrect answer, everyone. 160 is the incorrect answer. Why it is incorrect? Because अगर sales कम हो रहा है तो variable cost भी proportionately कम होगा. Now what is the correct answer? Very simple, guys. At this point, my profit, how much profit I'm expecting? Zero. As discussed, fixed costs remain constant at all the level of sales. So this fixed cost will always be 40. Now contribution minus fixed cost should be zero. So this contribution will be how much? 40. Now this 40 is equals to how much? 40%. My contribution is 40% of sales. So how much will be my sales? 100. So herein also, since my sales are reducing, my variable cost will reduce proportionately. Why? I have already discussed this part in detail. So herein, I have got my answer, that is rupees 100 is what? My break even. Now, how I calculated this 100? Very simple. My profit is zero. My fixed cost is 40. So how I got it? This contribution, that is zero profit plus my fixed cost, that is 40 divided by 40%. This is how I got this answer, 100 rupees. So zero have no value. So better 40 is what? My fixed cost divided by 40% is what? My PV ratio. So fixed cost is 40, 40% is my PV ratio. I'll get answer 100. So when talking about the break-even sales, how you calculate the break-even sales? Very simple. Fixed cost divided by PV ratio. PV ratio is what? The percentage of contribution to sales is what? My PV ratio. If you guys have any doubts in this concept, you guys can please post your query. So when talking about the formula for break-even sales, when talking about the formula, it is fixed cost divided by PV ratio. How come? Very simple, guys. How this formula is derived at break-even sales, my expected profit is zero. My fixed cost is 40 and it will remain constant at all the level of sales. So contribution minus fixed cost is zero. Therefore, my contribution will be how much? 40. This 40 is equals to 40%. So how much will be 100%? If you guys have any doubts in this part, you guys can please post your queries. 100 is the correct answer, Anmol. Yes, Sanya, 100 is correct. Mr. Raghavan, Anmol. So those who have posted 160, hopefully your query is resolved. If you are reducing the sales, the variable cost will also reduce proportionately. Anyone having any doubts? Harshita, Anandita, Ashok, Sanjana, Divya, Harish. Mr. Yashwardhan, any doubts? Rohan, are you there? Any doubts? Kadambari, Shweta, any doubts? Avinash Patil, Manohar, any doubts? Mohammed, now it is correct. So when talking about break-even sales, how we have derived the formula? Very simple. My expected profit is zero. My fixed cost will always remain constant. Therefore, my contribution will be 40. The relationship between contribution and sales is always same. If the question is silent, we will assume that it is always same. So if the sales is reducing, the proportionate variable cost will also reduce. The proportionate contribution will also reduce. I request you guys to please copy this explanation. Well said, Yashwardhan. The concept is the key. So let's discuss one more question on break-even sales, quantity, price, and amount. Let's say 500, 10, 5,000. My variable cost, let's say 500, 7, 3,500. My contribution will be how much? 1,500. My contribution per unit will be how much? This is what my contribution per. If we subtract fixed cost, we'll get the final term, that is profit. Fixed cost is 900. Let's say it is 900. Therefore, my profit will be 600. When talking about the PV ratio, we can easily calculate the PV ratio. It shows the relationship between contribution and sales. So my contribution is 1,500 divided by 5,000 into 100, 30%. Further, we can also calculate by using the contribution per unit divided by selling price per unit in 200. So that is also 30%. Now, we have got the relationship between contribution and sales, that is 30%. Can you guys calculate what will be the break-even sales? Okay, so I've got answer from Sanya. Your answer is correct. Soumya, I'm discussing break-even sales only. You can assume any of all the approaches are correct, Manohar. It's more or less the same only. So what will be the break-even sales in this case? What will be the break-even sales? Waiting for your answers. So I've got answer from Mr. Raghavan, Divya, correct answer. Mr. Bandi, correct answer. Rest all waiting for your answers, guys. Okay, Yashwardhan, correct answer. Harish, correct answer. Harshita, correct answer. Anmol, correct answer. Avinash, this time correct answer. Kadambri, Mohammad Huzair, Sanjana, everyone correct answer. So very simple, guys. The approach is simple. At break-even sales, we want zero profit. My fixed cost, as I said, it will always remain constant. So this will be 900. So 900 minus 900 is what? Zero. So this 900 is equals to how much? 30%. So how much will be 100%? This is equals to 30%. So how much will be 100%? Very simple, guys. 3,000 rupees. So if it is 3,000 rupees, this will be 2,100. So ultimately what I have done is, again the same approach what I have used. Very simple, guys. 900 plus 0. I am getting 900. 900 is equals to 30. So how much will be 100? So ultimately 900 plus 0 have no value. So 900 is what? My fixed cost. So when talking about break even sales in rupees, if I want to calculate, very simple guys, fixed cost divided by PV ratio. How this formula is derived, I have already discussed. So 900 is equals to 30. So how much will be 100%? 3000 rupees. So now we have got the break-even sales. How come Abhishek Bajpayee 2000? I'm surprised. Tanishka, I'm not getting your answer. Tanishka just got, okay, I've got your answer, Tanishka. Correct answer, Ashok. Correct answer, Pratna Sarthi. Correct answer, Sushil Kumar Barik. Correct answer. So 3000 rupees. And since one unit is sold for rupees 10, every unit is sold at the rate rupees 10. So we can say, or we can say 300 units. 3000 rupees, sorry, 900 divided by 30%, 3000 rupees is my break even sales. And since the selling price of every product is rupees 10, so we can say in short, we have sold 300 units for break even. Alternatively, we can calculate break even sales in units in other way also. So let's say I'm the manufacturer of this pen. This pen is manufactured at a variable cost of 7 rupees. This pen is manufactured at a variable cost of 7 rupees and it is sold at the rate rupees 10. So how much rupees I'm recovering per pen? Rupees 3. How much saving? How much rupees I'm saving on a particular pen? Rupees 3 after recovering the variable cost. Now my first target will be what? To manufacture and sell that much of pens so that at least I should be able to recover my fixed cost, that is 900. So per pen rupees 3. To recover 900 rupees, how much pens I have to manufacture and sell? Very simple, 900 divided by 3, that is 300 units. So alternatively, we can say per pen how much I am saying? Rupees 3 I am saying. In short, how much, what is my target? At least I should recover 900 rupees for break even. So how much I want to recover? 900 rupees. So in short, I have to manufacture and sell 300 units to for break even. So what is 900? My fixed cost. So if you want to calculate break even sales in units, you can directly calculate, that is fixed cost. 900 is my fixed cost divided by 3 is what my contribution per unit. So very simple, guys. I'm manufacturing this pen for rupees 7. I'm selling it for rupees 10. How much I'm recovering per pen? Rupees 3. My first target will be what? To recover my fixed cost so that at least I can achieve break even. So 3 rupees per pen. Overall, I have to recover 900. So how much pens I have to manufacture and sell to recover 900? Very simple, guys. 300 pens. So this is the way. I mean, 900 is my fixed cost divided by 3, that is contribution per unit. So this is how this formula is derived. So when talking about the formulas, how these formulas are derived, I've already discussed in detail. Further, the formulas that are given in study material is break-even sales if you want to calculate in rupees, fixed cost divided by PV ratio. If you want to calculate in units, it is fixed cost divided by contribution per unit. If you guys have any doubts, any queries, you guys can please post your query. Hopefully, I think your query is resolved, Soumya. Okay, so Miss Soumya, hopefully your query is resolved. If you have any doubts, you can please post your query. Yes, Gunjan, it is applicable mostly to the manufacturing companies only. I request you guys to please copy this explanation. I'll be discussing this part while solving the practical question, Mr. Santosh. This formula is incorrect, Mr. Gunjan. Variable cost keeps on changing. However, fixed costs remain fixed. So in the previous question, the students were getting 160 as the answer. It was incorrect. So by applying your formula, we'll get 160, not 100 rupees as discussed in the previous question. Anyone else having any doubts? So now let's start with few questions. Questions for you. Let's say my break even sales is 5 lakhs. Sorry, 1,80,000. My fixed cost is, let's say, 63,000. What will be my PV ratio? Waiting for your answers, guys. My break-even sales is 1,80,000. My fixed cost is 63,000. What will be my PV ratio? Okay, so I've got answer from Gomti. Gomti, correct answer. Yashwardhan, incorrect answer. Pratna Sarthi, correct answer. Miss Harshita, correct answer. Sanya, correct answer. Harish, Prashant, Avinash, Mohammed, Vijay Raghavan, Sanjana, Anandita, Anmol, Sanya, Harshita, Mr. Pratna Sarthi, Gomti, everyone correct answer. Tanishka, waiting for your answer. Yashwardhan, please recheck your calculation. Mr. Yashwardhan Tyagi, please recheck your calculations. Okay, Tanishka, correct answer. Rest everyone. Gunjan, Sai, Divya, Sushil, Mr. Nagbala, everyone correct answer. So here in very simple, guys, fixed cost divided by PV ratio is my break-even sales. So herein my fixed cost is 63,000 is equals to 1,80,000 divided by PV ratio. So this will be PV ratio will be 63,000 divided by 1,80,000 into 100. So 35%. Now this time correct answer. Kadambri, Ashok, everyone correct answer. Yes, Tanishka, I got your answer, my dear. Next question, let's say my break-even sales is 70% of total sales. Break-even sales is 70% of total sales. Let's say the break-even sales is given. My break-even sales is 70% of the total sales. Let's say it is given 2,10,000. My PV ratio is, let's say, 25%. You are required to calculate profit. My break-even sales is 2,10,000. My PV ratio is 25%. What will be the profit? Waiting for your answers, guys. My break-even sales is 2,10,000. That is 70% of the total sales. My PV ratio is 25%. So how much will be my profit? Waiting for your answers. Okay, so I've got answer from Vijay Raghavan. Your answer is incorrect. Anmol Patwa, incorrect answer. So I think one of the student mentioned, I don't remember the name. I think it is Sanya. She mentioned that marginal costing is very easy. Yes, it is easy, but you have to be thorough with the concept. Waiting for your answers, guys. So I've got correct answer from Sanya. Very good, Sanya. Correct answer. So Gomti, correct answer. Harish, correct answer. Mr. Bandi, incorrect answer. Sanjana Ben, correct answer. Anmol, there is no fixed cost given in question. So Mr. Raghavan and Mr. Anmol, please recheck your answer. Mr. Bandi, please recheck your answer. Rest everyone correct answer. Very good, Sanya, Sanjana. Harish, very good. Gomti, very good. Rest all waiting for your answers, guys. Quick. So Yashvardhan, correct answer. Mr. Vijay Raghavan, incorrect answer. Manohar Yadav, incorrect answer. Sai Divya, incorrect answer. I've got many answers. Okay, so Mr. Vijay Raghavan, again incorrect answer. Sushil Kumar Barik, I think, okay, correct answer. Harshita, incorrect answer. Gunjan Kumar, I just want the final answers. That is my profit. So waiting for the final answer. So till now, I've got correct answer from Sanya, Gomti, Harish, Sanjana, Yashvardhan, and Mr. Sushil and Mr. Nagbala. Kadambari, incorrect answer. Shweta, madam, welcome back. I think you were not present for some time. Anyways, incorrect answer, Shweta. Mr. Vijay Raghavan, incorrect answer. Keep on trying, guys. Mr. Santosh Das, instead of asking these questions, better do post your answer how to attend some in exams. So better post your answer for better understanding of the concepts. Mr. Pratna Sarthi waiting for your answer. Ashok Kharyal waiting for your answer. Mr. Mohammad Avinash waiting for your answers, guys. Quick. Okay, so Shweta, it is incorrect again, I think. Shweta, your answer is incorrect. Mr. Nagbala, correct answer. Harshita, correct answer. Hardik, correct answer. Manohar Yadav, now this time it is correct. Earlier you were getting a loss of 1,35,000. Mohammad Huzair, incorrect answer. Yes, Mr. Prashant, waiting for your answer. Tanishka, incorrect answer. Shweta, incorrect answer. Mr. Rohan, waiting for your answer. Kadamri, your answer is also incorrect. Mr. Abhishek Bajpai, Anandita Show. Soumya, waiting for your answer. Avinash Patil. No worries, Shweta. Ashok, keep trying. See now, Mr. Raghavan has got the correct answer. So 3 times, Mr. Raghavan, your answer was incorrect, but now this time it is correct. Very good. So Ashok, keep on trying. एग्जाम में विपिन सर नहीं आएंगे आपको सोल्यूशन बताने के लिए. So keep on trying. Shweta, again incorrect answer. Mr. Pratna Sarthi, again incorrect answer. Anmol Patwa, incorrect answer. Don't give up. Yes, this time your answer is correct, Mr. Vijay Raghavan. Shweta, incorrect answer. Please recheck your calculation. Tanishka, incorrect answer. Gunjan Kumar, correct answer. Ashok, want you to solve this question. So do post your answer. Don't give up. Anmol Patwa, please post the correct answer. So Sai Divya, no worries, that's okay. Okay, so Avinash Patil, your answer is incorrect. Don't rush unless and until you are that good with concept. Rest, it's like very difficult. Anyways, Anmol, your answer is correct. Varun M, your answer is correct. Very good, Anmol. So now after 3 incorrect answer, Anmol has posted the correct answer. Soumya, correct answer. Avinash, incorrect answer. Avinash, very good. Soumya, correct answer. Varun, correct answer. Yashweta and Miss Kadambari, no need to say sorry. That's okay, Ashok. Keep on trying. Tanishka, Kadambari, and Shweta. Ashok, do post your correct answer. Avinash, your answer is incorrect. Anyways, guys, see, the question is very simple. My break-even sales is 2,10,000. Profit is 25%. So my fixed cost will be how much? 2,10,000 into 25%. As I said, break-even sales, if we multiply it by PV ratio, we'll get fixed cost. Because the formula is what? Fixed cost divided by PV ratio is break-even sales. So Prashant Kumar, now this time correct answer. Ashok Karyal, incorrect answer, yaar. Shweta, again incorrect answer. That's okay, no worries. So see, as I said, from break-even sales, see, if you don't want to memorize the formula, see, listen to me very carefully, guys. From break-even sales, what we recover fixed cost, right? Once we are able to recover our fixed cost, what we do achieve, that is break-even sales. So from break-even sales, whatever the contribution I'm getting is what? My fixed cost. So my fixed cost is 2,10,000 into 25%. So this will be 52,500. My total sales will be how much? My total sales will be 2,10,000 is 70%. So how much will be 100%? 3 lakh. My PV ratio is 25%. It means variable cost will be 75%. So my PV ratio is 25%. So this will be 75,000 is my contribution. My fixed cost I have already calculated, that is 52,500. So my profit will be 22,500. So the question is very easy, Mr. Bundy. Now correct answer. Anandita, please recheck your answer. Shweta, very good. Yes, you should know how to adjust these 5 items, that is sales, variable cost, contribution, fixed cost, and profit. This chapter is entirely based on these 5 terms. That's it. Shweta, hopefully now you are thorough with it. Kadambari, now this time you got the correct answer. Tanishka, Avinash Patil, I hope you are thorough with this part. Okay, so Mr. Ashok, when talking about the formula for break-even sales, it is fixed cost divided by PV ratio. So cross multiplication, my break-even sales is 2,10,000. If we multiply it by PV ratio 25%, we'll get the fixed cost, that is 52,500. The first thing I have calculated is fixed cost. See, from break-even sales, हम लोग क्या recover करते हैं? Fixed cost recover करते हैं. Now my sales, break-even sales is 2,10,000. That is 70% of the total sales. So my total sales will be how much? 2,10,000 is 70%. So how much will be 100%? 3 lakh will be 100%. Now we have got the total sales 3 lakh rupees. Now 25% is my PV ratio. So how much will be my contribution? 75,000. Contribution will be how much? 3 lakh is my sales. 3 lakh is my sales. My PV ratio is how much? 25%. So how much will be my contribution? 75,000. I've got the contribution. If I subtract fixed cost, I'll get profit. There be, don't worry. Tanishka, any doubts? Hopefully, Ashok, your query is resolved. Yes, Tanishka, Avinash, and Ashok. Shweta, Anmol, any doubts? Harshita, let's take one more question. Let's say my variable cost is 70%. My fixed cost 30% of break-even sales. My break-even sales My variable cost is, let's say, 2,80,000, and my my fixed cost is 30% of the break-even sales. Let's say my break-even sales is 10 lakh. One second, guys. One second, guys. My profit is 60,000. So calculate break-even sales. That's okay, Ashok. So my fixed cost is 30% of the break-even sales. My actual sales is 5 lakh. My profit is 60,000. What will be my break-even sales? Waiting for your answers, guys. I request you guys to please post your answers. My fixed cost is 30% of the break-even sales. My actual sales is 5 lakh. My profit is 60,000. So what will be my break-even sales? So let's see now who answers first. Again, stick to the concept. Sales minus variable cost is contribution. Contribution minus fixed cost is profit. Till now, I've not got any answers. I don't think the question is that tricky. So waiting for your answers, guys. No answers till now. Okay, so Harish Chander is the first one to answer. And I'm really sorry, Harish, your answer is incorrect. Sales minus variable cost is contribution. Contribution minus fixed cost is profit. Just stick to the concept. Yes, Sanya, Yashvardhan, Mr. Ashok, waiting for your answers, guys. Okay, so Mr. Vijay Raghavan, incorrect answer. Is just like a crossword puzzle. I'm doing nothing but just twisting the question and the language. That's it. Examiner do the same. And many students say, sir, paper is out of syllabus or the paper is tricky. The paper is not tricky. The point is you are not thorough with the concept. So these questions I'm putting up in class just to refresh your concepts, just to improve your concept. So I request you guys to please try and solve the questions. I mean, please try to solve the question and post your answer. Miss Sanya, I don't know. My question is, how much will be my break-even sales? That's it. Still, I have not received answers from you guys. Yes, Shweta, come on. Tanishka, Avinash, Anmol, Mr. Mohammed, Mr. Manohar. Okay, so I've got answer from one of the student. Let me check. Miss Soma Bhanu. Let me check, Soma. Okay, so I've got the correct answer from Soma Bhanu, Sanya Fadke, Yashwardhan Tyagi. Sanya, correct answer. Yashwardhan, correct answer. Soma Bhanu, correct answer. Very good. Rest all, where are you guys? Waiting for your answers. Quick. This question is hardly of 2 to 4 marks. Examiner is not going to give you that much of time. Okay, so Mr. Mohammad Huzair, incorrect answer. Mr. Pratna Sarthi, incorrect answer. Harish, Vijay, keep on trying. Mr. Ashok. Sanya, your answer is correct, my dear. Yashwardhan, correct answer. Soma Bhanu, correct answer. Rest everyone who has posted the answer, their answer is incorrect. Avinash Patel, incorrect answer. Yes, Ashok. Whatever it is, right or wrong, do post your answer, Ashok. Hardik, Tanishka, Anmol, Kadambari, Anandita, Sushil, Kiran Shukla. Okay, so I've got answer from Harish Chander also, that it is also in, this answer is also incorrect. I've got so many answers. 4,12,000, 1,40,000. All the answers are incorrect. Mr. Pratna Sarthi, 3,57,000, 142. Incorrect answer. Prashant Kumar, incorrect answer. Kadambari, you did it. Your answer is correct. Very good, Kadambari. I think you are not sure that your answer is correct or incorrect. That's why you have posted question mark. Yes, Kadambari, your answer is correct. Very good, Kadambari. So till now, I have received correct answer from Soma, Sanya, Yashwardhan, and Kadambari. That's it. Shweta, Tanishka, where are you guys? Hardik, Anmol, Manohar, Varun, Sai Divya, Mr. Vijay Raghavan, Mr. Mohammed, Hardik, Harshita, Mr. Nagbala, Gunjan. Mr. Yashwardhan, let me complete the solution. So very good, Anmol. This time your answer is correct. Mohammed Huzair, incorrect answer. Shweta, incorrect answer. Shweta. Shweta, neither 20,000 is also incorrect. And the second answer, what you have posted, is also incorrect. Yes, Ashok, waiting for your answer. So now it's a very easy question, guys. Fixed cost is 30% of break-even sales. It means my PV ratio is 30%. Fixed cost is 30% of break-even sales. It means my PV ratio is 30%. My PV ratio is 30% because it is given in the question that fixed cost is 30% of break-even sales. So herein, my PV ratio is 30%. My actual sales is 5 lakh. So my sales is 5 lakh. My variable cost will be 3,50,000. My contribution will be how much? 1,50,000. My fixed cost will be my balancing figure because profit is given in the question, that is 60,000. So my fixed cost will be 90,000. So 90,000 divided by PV ratio. So 3 lakh rupees will be my break-even sales. So Mr. Yashwardhan, you were correct. But I think you, after posting the correct answer, you rectified your answer and then you posted the incorrect answer. So it was only 3 lakh, not 2 lakh. Yes, Mr. Mohammad Huzair, it is incorrect answer. It's a very easy question. That is, PV ratio is given, that is 30%. Actual sales is given, profit is given. So the twist was that I have given that fixed cost is 30% of break-even sales instead of writing PV ratio clearly. So do focus on what I have discussed. Examiner is not going to ask you straight questions. Examiner will ask you this, that. They will not ask you straight question. They will twist the question and then they will ask you to solve it. 3,12,500 is incorrect, my dear. Yes, Shweta. That's okay. So 3 lakh is the correct answer, Mr. Yashwardhan. What went wrong? Mr. Raghavan, Vijay Raghavan. Yashwardhan said, sir, 2 lakh, 30%, 60,000. It must be 2 lakh. Sir, sorry, not 3 lakh, but your answer 3 lakh was correct. So you should have posted, Shweta. You didn't posted 3 lakh. Yashwardhan, break-even sales, it is given that, see, what's the formula for break-even sales? Fixed cost divided by PV ratio. So let's say if my fixed cost is 90,000, my PV ratio is 30%. So break-even sales will be 3 lakh. So I said that my fixed cost is 30% of break-even sales. My fixed cost is 30% of break-even sales. So if my break-even sales is 3 lakh, 30% is my fixed cost. So my PV ratio is actually 30%. What's the formula for break-even sales? Fixed cost divided by PV ratio is break-even sales. My fixed cost is 90,000. My PV ratio is 30%. My break-even sales is 3 lakh. So what's the formula? Fixed cost divided by PV ratio. So if we multiply break-even sales by PV ratio, we will get fixed cost. So it means what? That what is PV ratio? The percentage of contribution to sales. But it is the percentage of fixed cost to break-even sales. No worries, Hardik. It's not about formulas, it's about concepts. That's okay, Ashok. Don't worry, don't get demotivated. I hope this question is clear to all. It's a very easy question, guys. I told you guys that whatever from the sales, whatever the amount we recover to our fixed cost is what. Sorry, 1 second. Whatever the amount, sorry guys. So what is break-even sales? Whatever the amount we have recovered to our fixed cost is what we call it as break-even sales. Anyone else having any doubts in this part? Yes, Shweta, Mr. Anyone else having any doubts? Mr. Vijay Raghavan? Any doubts? Mr. Mohammed? Hardik? Many of the students didn't posted their answer. They don't know how to start the question. See, guys, read the question carefully. Some information will, some clue will always be given in the question. The clue was that fixed cost, the percentage of the percentage of break-even sales to fixed cost is what we call as PV ratio, because the formula is what? Fixed cost divided by PV ratio is break-even sales. Now, how this formula is derived, I have already discussed. PV ratio is what? It shows the relationship between contribution and sales. Further, as I discussed in break-even sales concept, that fixed cost divided by PV ratio is break-even sales. Now, how this formula is derived, I have already discussed. So you can either apply the formula. Yes, I think Tanishka, it didn't reach. Thank you so much, Kadambari. Even me too. Sai, Divya, see, Divya, very important, Divya. Just focus on the concept कि break even sales से हमें जो recover हो रहा है, after deducting the variable cost, the amount what we are recovering is what? My fixed cost. So guys, enough of discussion on break-even sales. Many more questions I'm going to ask you in the coming session. There are 4 sessions allocated for marginal costing. So I'll be framing the question in class and will be putting up in front of you. So be prepared for the next session. Do revise what I have discussed in today's session. Try to make your own formulas. Try to make your concept. See, a particular question can be solved in 3 to 4 ways. It's up to you how you solve. The point is, if you are good in concepts, if you are good in memorizing the concept, if you are good in applying the concept, you can solve any question of marginal costing. Again, the chapter is very vast. Examiner can ask anything. If examiner want to fail you guys, he can ask anything. The point is, if you are very good at concept, then only you will be able to crack this marginal costing. If by any chance, if examiner asks tricky question. So thank you so much, guys, for your time and patience. Do revise what I have discussed in today's session. There are 3 more sessions allocated for marginal costing. So these concepts will be used throughout all these 4 sessions. So no, I'll request ICAI to give one more session on marginal costing. So don't worry. I'm not sure, it's not my class tomorrow. So today is Friday. My next session is on Monday, and anyways, I'm traveling out of station. 1 second, I gave correct answer first, but because I wrote 60,000, 30%. No worries, Yashwardhan. Anyways, that's okay. Well said, Mr. Bandi. Do sharpen your brain before attending the session. See, I just don't want to go very conventional, okay, just to teach the students and just go walk off. I just want you guys to participate in the session. try to address my try to post the answers, whatever you are able to calculate. You will also learn and you will get the benefit, most of the benefit out of these sessions. So just don't want to go like a boring session ki, okay, I'm teaching, you guys are listening, that's it. I just want you to participate in the session. It's like not, it's to make the session more interesting, we need joint efforts. That is, you should also post the queries, or you can post the questions also. I'll address all your queries. Further, whatever the questions I am asking, I want you guys to post your answers. So this is, by this way only we can make the session interesting. So that's it for today, guys. Thank you so much. See you day after tomorrow. Happy Mahashivratri to all of you guys. God bless you. Enjoy your weekend. Thank you so much. Admins up there.